So I want to talk about two different things real quick first. The first thing I want to talk about, it hit me like a, both of these things hit me like a ton of bricks the other night. I've been going through, just long story short, I was taking Kratom. If you don't know what Kratom is, look it up. It's like I took it because I quit taking Suboxone and it helped with detoxes and it also gave me energy. So I just started using it every day pretty much. And then it made me, long story short, it made me feel like shit. So I quit taking it. And the detoxes from the kratom is pretty is not as bad as I expected, but it's pretty damn bad. My knees are hurting, my back's hurting, um, my energy level has went all over the place. But long story short, here we go. I was sitting here the other night, and I was like, man, what have I like this past year or so? What has been the outcome of this? It's like I've killed myself, figuratively, of course, multiple times. And I'm not entirely sure that it was good. I was thinking that. And then it hit me like a ton of bricks. It was like, no, you killed the monster you created. And you did it in a very, very quick and painful way. So I guess what the point of this, me talking, is two different things. The first part is when I tell you to kill the ego, I'm not telling you to. What I'm saying is kill the monster you have created. Because what happens is, with me anyway, I'm going to assume it's like this with everyone else. Between the ages of like 16 and 20, you create a monster, and that monster feeds off of. You're born with darkness. Realize this. Everyone's born with a touch of darkness. And if you feed into that darkness, you're going to create a whole nother monster. Uh, so with me, between the ages 16 and 20, I played into it. I fed it. I fed it drugs. I fed it sex. I fed it lying. I fed it manipulating people. I fed it, well, fuck everyone else but me. I fed it all these other things. And it was going to slowly kill me. I realized this the other night. If I did not do what I have done this past year and a half, I would have spent the next 50 years of this lifetime being miserable and letting that thing slowly kill me. So that's where the ego comes from, and that's where the I'm assuming that's where the devil comes from and all these religious texts and all this stuff. That's it kind of hit me pretty hard the other night. That's exactly what has happened. That's where these dragon myths come from. That's where these monster myths come from, because you're the monster. You're born a monster. Just don't feed it. You can transcend the darkness and turn it into light. It can be done. So going further into that, I realized this, and it kind of blew my mind. And then I was sitting here thinking, I was like, where are we really? Like, what is going on here? Like, and then it hit me. This is heaven. There's no other way this is anything other than heaven. And really think this through. I don't think many people has thought through the game of eternity in heaven and what is what. So, what else do you need here? It's the perfect amount of awful. It starts off being hell, then it turns into heaven, and not realizing you're in heaven the entire time. You got to have the hell to get to the heaven. There's no heaven without the hell. Uh, but it hit me. That hit me too. Like, where are we at? What is really, like, really, where are we at? Like, what is this place? And then I don't believe we're on some planet. And even if we are, it does not matter what's going on or where we're at. This is heaven. There's no other place we can be other than heaven. There's no other place we can be rather than now. Play the game of eternity out in your head, whoever's watching this. Play the game of eternity out. You think that whenever you die, you're going to go to heaven or hell, or you think you're going into the ground. All three are horrible options to have. All three of them are, because eternity is for fucking ever. So let's just say you go to heaven forever. Like, what do you think's going to happen? You, like, really play out forever in your head. You're going to get bored as shit. This is the only way to play out eternity. It's the only way to play it out. It has to be this way. Really think it through. You die, you get reborn, you forget what you've done, and then every single time you realize who you are, and it's heaven. That's the only logical way to play it out. It has to be a perfect amount of awful. There has to be constant threats everywhere. Like, well, asteroids could hit us. Well, just for here, for an example, because I don't know what else is beyond this other than heaven, because we're in heaven now. There's no place we can be other than heaven. God would not waste his time with anything other than heaven. Simple as that. But it's beautiful and it's perfect. You're born, you have all these outside threats, so you have a sense of living, like you feel all the emotions. We're out here in one little star system. We're on a rock flying through space in one little star system, in one little galaxy in the universe, and asteroids could get us, and aliens could take us out, and natural disasters, and nuclear wars, and it's so fucking perfect. It's just so perfect. It's so perfect. I don't see how people don't see how perfect it is. So once you realize this, a question that's deep enough, seriously, question that's pretty deep. Where are we at? It has to be heaven. There's no other logical conclusion you can come up with. All this is just a story. It's a perfect story to fill our time, because we have to do this, because it's eternity. Like, it plays out like this over and over and over. Play out eternity in your mind. Play it out. Just play it out. It has to be this way. Because if not, then what will it turn into? Just think about what it'll turn into. You want to live for 1,000 years here? Do you? The way it is now, I mean, no matter what, it's perfect and beautiful. And I'm a firm believer in whatever you think heaven is really going to come here. Like, if you don't even realize this is heaven right now, you're about to be smacked in the face you can't deny it when it happens. But even then, would you want to live 1,000 years? Would you want to live 5,000 years? Would you want to live 100,000 years here? You would lose your shit. So that's the game of eternity. It's the game of life. It's the game of God. It's the game of everything that's laid out in front of you. There's nothing but God. And God is one. God is the only thing in existence, and he has to fraction himself or herself or itself. There is no gender, so let's just say itself. It has to fracture itself within itself to have some sort of semblance of reality. Otherwise, there's nothing. This is nothing, by the way. What we're doing right now is nothing, but I'm trying to explain to you deeper. If we did not do this, we would be in that void constantly. The void's nice and pleasant and peaceful, but I don't want to be in the void for fucking ever, do you? So what do? We create reality. So what reality do we create? Whatever the fuck we want to. And it's heaven every time. You just don't realize it's heaven until the actual heaven starts coming. It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. It's so poetic if you really get it. It's just, it blew my mind. It really blew my mind. So I understand really how reality has to play out. I understand how eternity has to play out. It has to play out this way. There's no other logical option to do it. You get 80 to 100 years in some, whatever you want to call this. It's heaven every time, but wherever. It doesn't just have to be here. There's other places. It's not just here. And it's heaven every fucking time. There's 3 things I've learned. I've learned a lot of things, but the main 3 things I want to point out, 4 things actually, is number 1, there is a God. Number 2, this place is not as real as it seems. Number 3, this place is heaven. Number 4, the ego is nothing more than a creation of your own mind, and then you create that and turn it into a monster. That's why a lot of people are out here miserable and get so butthurt and so annoyed, and so people can't handle opinions. People want to bitch at people whether they believe in God or don't believe in God, or what religion's right and what religion's not right, and star seeds and Pleiadians and aliens and Democrat, Republican, and dude, if you really knew where you were at right now, you calm the fuck down. You're in heaven. You're literally in heaven. Just stop the shit. Wake up. And that's hard to tell some people. I was talking to someone I've known for half my life the other night when I realized this and started explaining it to her. And dude, it broke her heart. I felt horrible. I really did feel horrible because it was like I just snapped all sense of reality. And she was like, "That's sad." And I was like, "What do you mean it's sad? Like, I just told you we're in heaven." Like, I think it kind of hurt her because she was like, "Well, I want to see my family again that's passed." And I'm sitting here thinking, you don't fully understand it. You were your family. I'm just you talking to you. Literally, I'm you talking to you. Like, I don't understand. You need to wake up to this. Once you wake up to this and you realize I'm just you talking to you, and this place is heaven, we can actually, because it's about to be forced upon you. Don't make it get forced upon you. Wake up to it. Enjoy it while it's happening, because, I mean, there's a reason the economy is getting ready to crash. There's a reason that these masks are out here. There's a reason that this virus is going stupid. There's a reason that all this race riots and looting and all this shit, there's a reason that all this is happening, and it's to wake people up. What's going to be the option here? Are you going to sit in your house? You going to wear a mask for 5 years? Are you going to sit in your house and not do a fucking thing? I mean, y'all are about to wake up sooner than later, but fuck, do it the right way and enjoy it. Come on now. And again, I'm sorry for my absence. I was sick as shit. Still do not feel well. Do not have that much energy, so sorry for not being super energetic or super whatever like normal, but it is what it is. Talk to you guys later. Love you. Yeah, man, wake the fuck up. You are in heaven. You're in literal heaven right now. Enjoy it.